Hello and welcome everyone to the Serenity Gaming Wintersplit Week 3 Division 1 match between Serenity Gaming Draco and Serenity Gaming Topaz. Color still isn't here with us, but who is with me today is Karim, and we will bring you the series today.
Hi, yeah, I'm glad to be here, even though Color is taking a well-deserved break. She's been working her behind off, so, we're glad to be here, just the two of us in a nice little romantic setting.
Alright, well, it is two of us bringing us this series today, but I am also joined by two players, one from each team. I've got Jizu from Topaz and Braveheart from Draco. Are you guys here with me?
Yeah. Yes. Very good.
Alright then, I will start with you, Jizu. So, we all know that that Topaz won the last split, and you also had a very strong series 2-0 storm against Lynx in week 1. So how confident are you coming into today's match?
Today's match, 2 20-minute games and we go solo queue. So
alright.
It's over in 1 hour.
Alright. Well,
that's some confidence, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, it might be 15 minutes.
Alright, let's just cool it down a bit.
Alright, I'm just gonna jump over to you, Braveheart, quickly. So, your team's history, you managed to 2-0 Kaylee in week 1 and fell short to Lynx in week 2, I believe. And does that loss affect you at all? And how confident are you coming in today's match?
Well, I don't think I'm as confident as Jisoo, but I believe that we can not take twos, at least take one game and be the one beating Topaz.
Alright, well, Braveheart, any players you are particularly scared of in the Topaz lineup, or are you, is that the team in general that you are preparing for mostly?
Well, I don't look at players, so I don't know much about them, so I can be scared of things I don't know anything about, because I'm really new at SRG.
Alright, well, Jizu, did your team do more prep than looking up Lynx pictures today? Who are you looking at in Draco?
Who are we looking at in Draco?
Okay,
we didn't prepare at all. We prepared in solo queue a little bit. We talked smack with each other, and well, we are just thinking about how fast we can end.
Alright then. A question, because we are already nearing the end of the season, and the split will run through the preseason. So how is your team preparing for these changes? Because they're gonna come out of nowhere and there will be no break in the winter split.
For me?
Yeah, Topaz in general.
The preseason changes. Well, it might affect in the CSD. The teams actually can play, but in Wintersplit, it just, yeah. Maybe Hillary will do something, but otherwise it's a little bit like just time to learn new stuff and roll around and kick balls, you know.
Alright, Braveheart. How about Draco? Are you looking forward to the preseason? Are you already preparing? How confident are you when the changes come?
Oh, I haven't seen all the changes yet, so I don't know much about them.
Very prepared.
I just play the game and play my style, and hopefully, well, yeah, it goes well.
Alright, well, one last thing before I will let you go. So, I'm trying to start this thing. Right now, Braveheart, Jizu, taking in turns, what do you have to say to your opponent before the match? We can start with Jizu, I guess, because he has a lot to say.
Well, what I have to say? Well, I hope Braveheart can play more than Fiora, because it's going to be rough lane.
Alright, what do you respond to that?
Well, absolutely can't play more than Fiora, don't worry about that.
Alright then, well, thank you for your time. I will now let you go back to your teams to prepare for the match. Good luck, and we'll see you on the Rift.
Yeah, see ya.
Alright then. So, Karim, I feel like Topaz is very confident in judging
They are.
Jizu,
They are.
what Jizu said.
They are very confident, and indeed, they are technically the highest ranked team out of all of the groups that we have in the Wintersplit. He did mention that, they want to be preparing more for the CSD rather than Wintersplit, which actually might catch them a bit unaware, given that we have had other teams also popping off, namely Hydra, who in their game against
Which game? Week 1 or week 2?
Week 1. Their very first game, it looked very dominant. So I think
Lynx?
Yes, Lynx. Thank you. It might actually be a team that will be worthy of contending for that very first spot. And if Topaz continue to just sort of laze around, not really taking it too seriously, it might bite them later on.
It might as well. On the other side, I feel like Draco were just much more casual, what you would expect, as in not really being too confident, not really being too humble as well. So, how do you think these two teams will come into this match, since the standings are pretty close around Topaz and Draco? Topaz are in three-way tie for third with 3 points, and Draco are holding the second place just with a 1-point lead.
Well, generally, Topaz have still played just one game compared to Draco's 2, just because the match against Hillero did get delayed and moved onto another date. So Draco still will be going into this match as the underdogs, and Braveheart did mention that they will be just looking to take one game away from them. So if you look at it this way, I'm not saying that they cannot win the series. There is a room for upset in any scenario. However, if they take just one game away from them, it'll mean a lot to them, given the point structure that is surrounding this league, where even one game won gives you 1 point already, which can make the difference between Division 1 and Division 2 in the long run.
Yeah, and of course, both Topaz and Draco look like they're not really in the risk of falling down into Division 2. If Draco just win one game, that means that Topaz cannot overtake them on points. Of course, it's only week 3, so right now the standings are not of that huge importance. It's only the beginning of the split. However, yeah, Topaz definitely, they want to show that the last split that they won, it wasn't just a fluke. They already had a 2-0 win, and this is their second series, so we're going to have to see if they can indeed be undefeated. But one thing I want to talk as well about before the game is a new patch came out yesterday. It wasn't the biggest of the patches, but do you have anything interesting to talk about it?
Well, there haven't been too many big changes. One of the biggest ones did consider Pike, which is actually Selfways, the support of Topaz's one of the most played champions in his arsenal, so we may see him struggle a bit if he does decide to go for this very aggressive pick, now even more risky, given the adjustments, as they called it, to his kit, from switching the scaling from AD into lethality, meaning that you can't just go with, I'm gonna call it brain dead pirate, by building just frozen hard and tanky on him. So that might affect them. Other than that, for both of these teams, this patch will remain relatively insignificant, and I think it'll just be more interesting in the later stages of the Wintersplit to see how the teams fare in adaptation to the foundations being switched around completely as the preseason rolls on.
That is definitely the case. We are just a few more minutes away from getting into the game. Just a brief description of the teams. Who do you think the draft will revolve around? Do you have anyone, or could it be literally anything or anyone?
Well, Topaz have shown us that they are a very upfront and early game heavy team, where they pretty much just snowball completely out of control. So my focus will be mostly on the Jizu and Braveheart top lane. We heard some banter, or rather some smack talk, coming mostly from the side of Jizu. So I think he will be confident enough to pick some of the bruisers for himself. However, there's also a very big possibility that Topaz will also pick possibly the Lovers Duo or some other very aggressive bot lane and try to snowball through there. And from the side of Draco, I think it will mostly roam around their team fighting capability, with Munkholm on a tanky jungler, trying to make sure that his lanes don't fall apart completely before the 15 minutes that Jizu was talking about.
Yeah, and so as you just literally said, Topaz
Everything.
definitely yes. I don't even know what to follow it up with. But yeah, I
It's
think
okay.
I just will one more time run back to the to the to the interviews, because you know you just mentioned as well Jizu talking smack and a lot of stuff like that, but you know Topaz, they actually said that they are preparing more for the CSD, and as I sometimes pay attention to the league chat in the custom, Jizu also said that they are being held back in the Wintersplit, so that kind of suggests to me that maybe Topaz aren't really. I mean, they obviously are taking the game seriously, but maybe they aren't really overall that concerned with the Wintersplit. And my question is it a strength or a weakness? Because on one side, the losses might not affect you as much, but on the other side, it does mean that you might be playing slightly worse in certain situations.
Well, generally, you know, from the mental standpoint, they will be a bit more relaxed in this league, compared to some more difficult quote-unquote leagues, at least in their view. However, it may, again, as I said, it might bite them in the rear later on if they underestimate their opponents, if they just don't prepare, if they think that they are just so good on an individual level that they will outplay any team. So when they actually clash with a team of the same level, they may find themselves in a lot of trouble. So it's both an advantage and a disadvantage in the same regard.
Alright then, and we have 9 minutes in the game. The time really does seem to slow down. Now I know Color Point needs a break, because doing just one of these is hard enough, and she's been doing them literally since like the beginning of this split. However, another thing I would want to talk about is how this game affects the momentum of these teams, because that is something we talked about a lot, especially in week 1. And ironically, after Draco pretty much swept Kaylee 2-0, after Kaylee threw game 1, so Topaz, they are still on the high after a 2-0 and their match being delayed. They still didn't drop a game. On the other side, Draco, they kind of lost the game against Lynx that wasn't streamed, but it still might have affected them. How important do you think the momentum? How important of a role the momentum will play in today's match?
Well, it'll all depend on what mentality Draco are going into this match with, because it could affect them a lot, or it just could be a throwaway game for them. If they consider themselves the underdogs, it will be a bit easier on them. If they are really looking collectively to just take that one game away from Topaz, if they manage to accomplish it, they will be happy and it won't actually affect them as much. Whereas if they were actually playing to win the entire series, which, you know, ideally they should be, it could make them doubt themselves a bit, whether they actually are supposed to be in the top standings. And on the other hand, if Topaz find Draco to be a worthy opponent of their caliber, it may make them have to readjust their sights on the entire league and be a bit more cautious about the way they play.
Alright, I believe you are just minutes away from the draft, so once I know I already asked you this question.
Hell at me.
Actually, I asked you a lot of questions. And
You have?
Yes,
Yeah.
because that is what the host usually does. You know, we
True.
just ask a lot of questions and then expect people to know the answers.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually happen every time. Fun
Yeah,
fact.
not always. Sometimes people just have no idea what to talk about, and I feel like this filler is actually taken too far. But yeah, we are just a minute away from the draft right now, and I will ask you once again, but more specifically, what
Okay.
picks do you expect to be banned in the first phase?
So, from Topaz, I'm expecting that if they are as cocky as they were in the pre-show, or rather, well, Jizu was in the pre-show. Sorry, don't mean to collectively fault anyone. They will be mostly banning their uncomfortable matchups rather than comfort picks from Draco. They are also on the red side, so it would suggest that they would be going against more of these meta picks. However, I think that they will just be going against some of the bad matchups. For example, if they would like to set up face hurt on that Aurelion Soul just to sort of flex on these newbies, again, quotation marks. They would like to ban out someone that likes to get in your face, so say Yasuo. However, Van Borg doesn't really play that much of any bruiser assassins, so we'll likely see just some nice little bans all around. And from Draco, they will have to respect all of these solo laners from Topaz and possibly Mayhoff, take some carries away from them, eliminate as many of the losing lanes as they can so they can survive the initial onslaught and possibly just look to steal the game out and, again, survive.
Alright. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I've run out of things to ask you and you're probably slowly running out of things to respond you, so I'm just going to ask you in general, do you think there is anything else that we can look forward to? Actually, it doesn't matter because we are going into the pick and battles.
Okay, you just played yourself.
Yes, I just play myself big time. Draco, they are banning the Tilia straight away in the first ban. Barely any hesitation there at all. We'll see what the Topaz respond with. It is the Urgot ban.
Yeah, Urgot still has gone unnoticed by the Riot radar. He hasn't been really nerfed, so it's still a strong pick overall. Now Fiora, also from the side of Topaz, meaning that they are actually respecting Braveheart and his Fiora. It is one of his most played champions, and it can be a real nightmare in the late game. Well, not really late, mid-game mostly. So it's nice of them to show at least some form of respect rather than betting out all the mainstream stuff first.
Yeah, we'll also see if Braveheart can actually play anything else than Fiora, as Jizu has asked. Looking at his profile, I think he does. It is the Rakan first pick from Draco, so now that should probably force the Xayah pick from Topaz unless they have an answer ready.
Yeah, and it is also smart from them to actually take that Rakan first, because this way you do deny that Lovers Duo. It is one of the strongest bot lanes in the meta right now. Topaz will be securing that Camille. Not quite a signature pick from Mayhoff, assuming it does go into the jungle, but it is again a champion that he likes to play a lot, similarly to the Talia that was banned in the first rotation of bans, and we'll just be happy with it.
Yeah, on the other side, Draco picking up Xin Zhao, one of the most popular picks right now. It has been present, either picked or banned in vast majority of the games. It will be the Sivir to pair with the Rakan coming in from Draco. So we've got the two late game AD carries. How do they stack up against each other?
Well, Sivir will actually have less of a priority in lane unless she manages to push a wave completely. I'm expecting for Topaz to bring some heavy engage support. For example, you could see that reworked Pike or the Thresh prioritized right now, unless Topaz, okay. That's a fat man.
That could be a Gragas support. Might not be. Might be just Gragas jungle, put Camille into the top lane. I don't know. I'm having my fingers crossed for that. But when the caster is confused, probably not you, but I'm just a play-by-play, then that means that Topaz have a pretty decent flex potential in those two picks.
Yeah, right now you have two champions that can go into so many roles. You don't really know what to pick or ban just yet. So again, smart draft from Topaz, really showing that they are that they don't have to care about Wintersplit and I just have to focus on CSD. I will remind them of that if they manage to lose. However, for now, Galio taken off the board again. They want some. They probably want some carries in the mid lane just to make sure that they don't have this beefy front line to run into. So we'll have to see what they manage to pick.
Draco are removing the Zoe from Phaser. This guy actually played it a lot lately, so not surprised to see that coming in as a ban. Especially that Topaz are probably saving the last pick either for the mid lane counter pick, which would probably make a lot of sense, or whatever lane they did not pick counter pick. Okay. It is the Aurelion solo, makes a lot of sense. Phaser does like to play it a lot.
He's a former one trick, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to see what Topaz decide to go with. They have a lot of options. They might just pick the mid lane there and keep the flex and just see the whole composition of Draco. It is the Lissandra, which is another flex pick.
That's just rude, honestly, at this point. I mean, I'm still expecting a support to be picked right now to actually pair it up with Xayah. On Draco's side, they should right now just look to invest into some form of a tank. You could pick that Ornn and Sion, both who have been showing some really what's the term I'm looking for? Really favorable for all these teams. However, it will be the Poppy. It's a safety net of a sort, especially paired up against that Camille. So top lane will be relatively safe, at least for the majority of the time.
Yeah, I can also deny Gragas should he go into the jungle. Cassiopeia is being hovered. If that is paired with Sivir, that is a very scary late game potential composition that Draco could build, and it will be locked in right now.
Yeah, and if it is the Cassiopeia against Lissandra, we'll have to see and wait for the last pick. However, if it is the Cassiopeia versus Lissandra, it will actually mean that Cassiopeia will be a bit looking for straws, grasping for straws, sorry. If Camille ever decides to roam around that mid lane, so you could see heavy focus around that lane, and it will be the Gragas support. All right, or not? I have no idea.
My prediction is Sion top lane, Camille jungle, Lissandra mid, Xayah ADC, and Gragas support. I have no idea if I'm right. Because even right now we can flex these champions, I could potentially see everyone but Xayah playing support, but I'm the person who picks Twitch on support, so don't listen to me. But, well, I don't think we're gonna be able to analyze Topaz too much, but what are you looking at in Draco?
So in Draco, they have much less of a flexing team, which I'm honestly grateful for as a caster. You do have the very late game-ish guaranteed team with the strong team fighting in the form of Sivir, Cassiopeia, and Poppy. However, you also have a lot of engage potential from the Xin Zhao and Rakan, so you will see a lot of pressure being put onto the bot lane very early on, and if they don't actually manage to get any ganks there, they will be very sad, Drake, and a very happy one.
Alright then. Do you think that you can salvage any potential predictions from this Topaz lineup? Or are we going to wait until we get into the game?
Well, right now it's just Gragas or Sion. On that support role, I would actually be expecting Sion to go into the top lane, given that Gragas into the Poppy isn't the greatest of matchups, to be really frank with you. And Sion, it goes well into Rakan, since, Rakan is squishy, and Sivir doesn't have any damage early on, so Sion will be just happy to sort of scale up. And, alright, Gragas.
Yes.
We've both played ourselves today.
Yes.
And, yeah, I'm happy to be casting.
Alright then.
Damn.
Well, we're just gonna go into a short break before the game, so that we will make sure not to play ourselves. In the Twitch chat, Swag just wrote the composition right now, confirmed by Woofer. So, well,
links. Okay.
We're just gonna see you in the game and just confirm it for sure. So see you then.
Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe as I dive in. Bloodstains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to keep you safe as we fall. I can't hold on much longer. We're
Alright, hello and welcome back. We're coming into game 1 between Topaz and Draco. I believe that Kerm is having some slight issues, so tell me man when you're back, but for now I will take this alone as Topaz, they seem to be going for some play level 1. They go into the bush, but they are spotted by Jokeran, so no kills today.
Yeah,
And
there isn't... Okay, well, that didn't really take too long, did it? Do you think that they heard you saying that I'm having some PC issues and that they should wait for me?
Yeah, they probably did, since
Yes.
you know, solo casting is really difficult, and also why
Yeah.
wouldn't you have such a great caster as you?
Understandable.
Yeah, like, you know, you can't miss out people just like that.
Yeah, apparently it has been caused by lag, so hopefully the issues will be fixed just shortly. However, we can actually talk about the game if you want.
Alright, well, we can talk about the game. So, early game, where do you see it for Draco? Where do you see it for Topaz?
Well, for Draco, it'll be all about Munkholm running his way over around the bot lane and making sure that he can get a couple of the early kills onto Sivir. It is one of the only lanes where he can get some immountable pressure down, as Poppy Sign will be very even. Same goes for Lissandra and Cassiopeia. So Draco will likely just want to utilize the early pressure that they can gain from the Xin Zhao and Rakan. Also with, you know, the combined push of Sivir. And on the other hand, Camille, she will likely just be roaming around mid lane, making sure that she can combine her Hexic Ultimatum with the Ice Tomb to just set up an easy kill onto the little snake lady that is Vanborg.
Yeah, and Vanberg does see that he is running the cleanse as well, so it will allow him to stay safe. Now, Topaz are actually going for the red buff still, Cal spamming the dub penguin emote. This probably wasn't codon stream, or it might have been, I don't know if you needed to know that, but if Mayhov now can pull out the 3 buff, that would be pretty huge. I don't think it will happen though, since Munkholm has the ward, he knows his red buff has been stolen, and I would expect him to path appropriately around that.
Yeah, he should just look to invade into the Topaz's jungle right now to give him a nice little return steal. You know, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, buff for buff. That's the common saying of thieves, isn't it? Probably not. Okay. I have no idea what I wanted to talk about, honestly. Yes, it's good to see the confidence from Topaz. We were expecting it, and it's being shown here with these early plays, going for those steals of the buffs. Again, one of the trademarks that they know what they're doing and that they are glad to be doing it.
However, now Munkholm is actually making his way towards the top side. Jizu is far too out of position. He used the flash preemptively, and it will be an escape.
And nice little pressure being put down by the early jungler. No idea what's up with my voice and speaking today. However, no kills going to the Xin Zhao is going to be also very beneficial, because if you do manage to get a snowballed Xin Zhao on the opposing team, you're in for a treat, and you know, not a big one, so you could say it's a trick rather than a treat.
And Facer is making it up towards the top side. Level 3 has been hit on Mayhov before Munkholm, and Munkholm is already losing that trade. Meanwhile, Braveheart jumps onto Facer. Facer is already 200 HP, uses the Glacial Path, should be able to make it out to CMFT. Meanwhile, I believe both junglers have burned their flash in the ensuing fight. So far only a trade of summoners in the top side, but looks like it's not done yet. Braveheart goes with the heroic charge into the wall. Flash away might be able to get himself out to safety for a while. Yes, he does now. In the bot lane, there was also a trade going on, heavily won by the Topaz. Jokeran, below 200 HP, had to go under his own turret. So what just happened right here?
Well, a lot of early game fighting, honestly. We can see that both of these teams want to gain those early game advantages, even though it's not at the areas of the map that we originally advised. We were saying that Draco will likely just be playing around the bot side of the map. However, with the early aggression from Mayhov in the enemy jungle, we did see a skirmish, and it went fairly evenly, which for Draco is actually going to be super good, even though they're a couple of 100 gold behind him now. It's good that they aren't actually giving Topaz that snowball just yet.
It is a very good thing, definitely, because I'm looking at Vanberg and Lodberg, And you've got Cassiopeia and Sivir. The late
Yeah.
game teamfights for these teammates are going to be insanely strong.
Yeah, if they just manage to get a couple of items down under their belt, Sivir does have that famous 500 CS power spike, so around, 40 minutes in most of the games. If the game does manage to stall out for that long, Draco will be very happy with their performance, most likely anyway, unless they're, planning to end it pre-20 minutes, similarly to Topaz. Which I don't think they are, but anything is possible in the Wintersplit.
You never know. Maybe.
You never know.
Yeah, maybe they're not planning, but they will do it anyway. Selfie looks for an engage, does find the body slam onto Joker, but it is a Rakan. He just battle dances away to safety, and the lanes seem to be pretty calm right now, but we see a small CS lead start to emerge for Cal in the bot lane.
Yeah, and it is the pressure that we were talking about. If Lodberg did manage to get the wave to push, it was going to be a free lane for him. However, Xayah is still one of the hypercarries that can still hold her own, especially when paired up with an aggressive support. And Gragas does fulfill that role. What is the adjective? I don't even know, honestly.
Really well.
Really well. I was looking for...
Extremely...
Greatly.
Yes.
Amazingly. Okay, that's...
Marvelously.
Yes, that's the term that I was looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're not a walking thesaurus, unfortunately. Sometimes we just don't get the word we need. Still well done. Anyway, so... Early items, Cal picking up the Berserker Greaves face card, getting the Hextech Revolver. Nothing too big for now. We see Mayhoff hanging around the mid lane, just as you said earlier. So once level 6 has been hit on Facer, there could be a lot of contention around there.
Yeah, and that level 6 has been hit right now. Mayhoff will be spotted by the blue ward in the river. Now, both of these players roaming around, trying to steal some camps away from Munkholm. It is the nice thing that happens to you when you actually get a mid laner that can push his lane out, so you can just group up with him and gang up on pretty much anyone.
We see them clearing out division, trying to set up for literally anything around there. We see that Munkholm right now is level 4. Mayhoff is sitting on a control ward. I'm not sure he just waited to destroy it, see if anyone comes. He does get it now. Red buff has been spawned for the side of Munkholm. He is sitting on the Krugs right now. He has a level advantage. I'm going to just pay attention right now, see if these junglers will spot each other's.
Yeah, and doesn't look like it. However, Munkholm
is going in, and the rest of Draco are collapsing, but a nice blast cone over the wall will get Mayhoff to safety.
Yeah, that was scary. If Munkholm had managed to come in just a bit earlier, or put the pink ward over the wall, again, just a few seconds prior, that could have possibly resulted in a kill. However, nothing yet. And the Xin Zhao will just sadly kill the red buff and move on with his day.
Yeah, however, if you look at the vision control coming in from Topaz in the bot side jungle, 3 control wards in the river alone. That does make any roaming difficult, but it still looks like Munkholm and Vanberg are making their way down towards the bot side. I believe they have been spotted, or at least the move has been read, since the barrel does go into the brush. It will be just an easy disengage from Topaz, so any early plays that Draco are trying to make, or vice versa, are just denied by the other team.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you don't actually draft too many winning lanes. You don't right now have the pressure to actually get that vision down, especially in the bot side river. You do have that even matchup in the top lane. So right now, the vision control is predominantly dominated by Braveheart. However, in the bot side where Draco wanted to focus most of their attention, as you said, there's virtually nothing.
Yeah, Mayhoff trying to steal the blue buff. Braveheart charges the Keeper's Verdict, will knock away the blue buff, and Jisoo.
Oh, he still got it. Okay, that's just rude.
Oh, did Mayhoff actually?
He actually smited it, yeah, okay.
Oh, that's a feels bad, man.
That's a bit rude, honestly.
Yeah, however, now level 6 has been hit also on Mayhoff, so the dual ultimate combination with the Haystack Ultimatum and the Frozen Tomb that you mentioned at the beginning of the game is online right now. Vanberg has Cleanse and Flash, so they would need to burn either of these summoners before going for a bigger play, but that opportunity has now opened up.
Yeah, and they are still roaming together. and will possibly be looking to get Monk home, or at least scare him away from this little frog.
Yeah, Topaz are playing really well around the pressure they generate in mid lane, going into literally any side of the jungle they wish and getting control there pretty quickly, pretty strongly, to say the least. The bot side control, still they have the two controllers. Yes, Draco used the fact that they're not there to regain some of it, but Topaz, they are really trying to set up some of these big plays that can maybe come in a few minutes. But talking about plays, no first blood at 10 minutes, and where do you see these teams starting to make anything happen?
Well, until this point, Draco was pretty much playing on easy mode. You didn't have too much engage potential from the combined efforts of the members. On Topaz, however, right now, you have the Ice Tube, you have the Explosive Cask, you have the Scion drifting his way into the top lane. And you will start seeing a lot of pressure be generated everywhere on mid and bot lane. You do have that insane engage potential in every single lane. So right now Draco will just have to be content with farming under turret instead of actually contesting the superior vision that Topaz have managed to set up themselves.
And I feel like this might be just the slowest game in the Wintersplit we've had so far. And one of the things we keep highlighting is the difference between Division 1 and Division 2. And I feel like it's pretty evident today, because if this was a Division 2 match, we'd probably have 10 kills for each team already at this point.
True. Yeah,
so,
but, I mean,
I don't know where I'm going with this point.
Okay, that's cool. You just like to meme on lower ranked players. Okay, you know, we'll remember that for the future. However, it makes sense. You know, the teams in Division 2 aren't as well coordinated. They haven't played together for as long, or just the individual performances aren't as great. However, that still doesn't mean that it isn't fun to watch them. You know, if you ever want to watch a fiesta, you can just boot up one of the matches and have a go at it. You know, maybe have a drinking game of some sorts. Not that I'm encouraging drinking, especially not in this stream, because it's of certain religion that I'm forbidden to talk about. However, back into the game.
Yes.
You see that Facert has managed to pick up the Proto Belt, so he will be having the early game early item power spike sooner than Vanberg.
That's actually quite a lot of damage coming in the mid lane. Cassiopeia does have the ability to heal it up though, so it shouldn't be too big, but I believe that Malcolm and Braveheart are on the Herald right now. They are taking it to 5000 HP. Topaz will respond with a Mountain Drake, so it could be a trade-off of objectives. Jisoo tries to come up, see what's happening, and the Herald is running low. Mankholm has got the smite available, so it should be an easy secure. Yes, it is. Now Jisoo might be in a lot of trouble. He gets knocked out with the Keeper's Wedding, flash away will get him to safety. Faceherd goes in with the Glacial Path, but will not decide to follow up, and Mankholm picks up the Herald, but Topaz get the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, and you'll be always happy when you manage to secure Mountain Drake, especially when playing against a Sivir who can utilize it to its fullest potential.
Oh, now Lodberg.
Lodberg could be in some trouble.
It did look like so for a while. Selfway decided not to go for the engage. I believe that he could have gotten the kill. He's probably better than me. I mean, well, it's definitely better than me, so he knew better, and yeah, he didn't go. But taking a broader look at the game right now, we see a quite significant CS lead being built across the board for the side of Topaz. It is nearly 30 in the bot lane, 20 in the top lane, and right now there is a fight in the bot lane as well. Really nice dodge from the cast, but Facer is under the turret. Teleport is coming down. Joken uses the quickness, and first blood has been drawn. Scout picks the kill onto Lodberg. Joken falls down, and so flash away from Bayhard to try and get to safety. But Jisoo comes with the pain trade, gets the knock up. Now Michael tries to go onto Calbo, pick up the return kill onto the Zaya. He tries to look for more. Jisoo has no mana. He goes in with the Audacious Charge. Glacial Path will take Facer to safety. Now low health bars on the side of Draco. On the other hand, Michael looks to fall down. Facer picks up the kill. And it is a 3-4-1 for Topaz for now. However, Valberg goes in, Petrifying Gaze picks up the kill on Jisoo already. Braveheart knocks Facer in the duel. It is the double kill for Valberg, as well as Facer will fall down as well. And that was a 4-4-4, and I have no idea what just happened.
Well, I feel like you say that way too often.
Yes, because I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, makes sense. You know, you need your own stuff. However, this was so well executed from Topaz from the get-go. They did have their ultimates. They did use all of their teleports to secure those kills. However, I want to commend Draco for how they responded and did go for the ensuing fight, that they didn't just back and give Topaz a bit more respect, because they did know their damage. They did say that, hey, we can make sure that we won't lose this fight as hard. And even though Topaz did get the first turret in the top lane, I think they'll be happy with how this fight, relatively happy with how it's turned out.
The gold advantage does go for the side of Topaz, but if we look at where the kills went, 2 kills went on to face hurt, one of them was picked up by Carl, and Jizu also got a kill, which means that he's got that ZZ Rod portal. I'm not going to reference any particular solo queue strat right now, however...
Yeah, I don't think you'll see that here.
Yes, on the other side, we've got 2 kills going on to Vanberg, so both mid laners picking up 2 kills apiece, and the AD carry for Topaz picking up the kill as well. But right now there is a gang in the top lane, so we'll hold on to that point and come to it later. Jizu tries to get away, but he just gets body blocked by his own portal and 2 members of Draco. Now he will use the decimating smash to get them away. Braveheart goes in under the target with the heroic charge, and it looks like it will be the kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Facer actually solo or actually ganked with Mayhoff Vanberg. So this is a 1-for-1 on the map. Bot lane turret looks to be dropped. It will be dropped right now. So if it goes in with the cast, Lodberg gets knocked into the wall. That's a great quickness to buy the time. He goes away with the battle dance to safety. So it is the 1-for-1 Herald summoned in the top lane.
And these plays are going in the favor of Topaz overall. You can see that the gold advantage has escalated over to 4,000. But Draco had...
Now Carl finding a really nice route onto Joker, and he has to flash away as well as heal burn from Lodberg. The trade is not done yet. Featherstone goes in and the Blade Caller secures the kill. It is the double kill. Carl comes in huge. Actually, he picked this kill solo.
Yeah, and... Okay, that's a bit of a BM over to Southway. However, they will Munkholm.
Yeah, the Frozen Tomb into the so much CC, and Mayhoff picks up the kill. Munkholm falls down, and Topaz are looking for their 5th turret of the game.
Yeah, that was a bit of an end from Munkholm. However, he did have the right idea. He just shouldn't have. And we are seeing the game just explode. 7,000 of gold lead on the side of Topaz, surgically executed. They played really well around their champions right now. It is the mid game. They have opened the map so much. You have no remaining lane turrets, except the inhibitor one in the bot lane, and both tier 1 turrets have been taken in mid lane and top lane as well. So they'll be really happy to just expand their snowball and just again finish this game out before the 20th minute hits. We won't be seeing the 15-minute win though, as Jizu told us in the pre-show, but you know, 20 is still better than nothing.
Yeah, and you said this game exploded. I think it's an understatement to how far and how quickly Topaz took it. Just 5 minutes ago, we were struggling to talk about literally anything since there was nothing happening. Right now, we're looking at, as you said, 7,000 gold, and we might be looking at another fight. Cal might be caught out of position, but the cask will get him to safety. So coming back into my point, Topaz literally took that one fight in the top bot lane, and even though it was even on kills, they managed to take 2 turrets, and then they managed to pick up even more turrets. And I just want to praise them how quickly they managed to take one good thing and explode it into a huge lead.
Yeah, they're getting a very huge lead. However, Selfway
might get caught out of position. Teleport coming in from Facer. Mayhoff meanwhile on the backside getting caught out. Taking down by Michael immediately. Meanwhile, I will switch to Facer because he goes in with the Glacial Path. Joker has to run away. He's very low for HP. Braveheart tries to flash away. Facer flash forward. Gets the Frozen Tomb onto Loser, but it will not do enough. And Carl goes in, picks up 1 kill, picks up another one. 5-1 and 2 on the Xayah.
And right now you have just such a strong fighting team from the side of Topaz. They can just pick any fight that they want, and even though they got caught out and Draco actually did manage to get a relatively good engage on them, they just can't really do anything because they have just so much damage. Yeah, Lodberg just was deleted with the Featherstorm and the blade color alone.
And that just shows you how strong this composition really is in the mid game. You've got the Camille, you've got Lissandra, you've got the Gragas, not all, sorry. Lissandra has completed her 2 items, Camille is looking for the Triforce, has the Tiamat, so if she actually if she would have gotten 1 item, then she would have gotten it already. So they're just so much strong. I just realized the implications of my sentence. Please don't quote me on that.
No,
ever.
it's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, they're so much more ahead of their counterparts. AD carry, 1.5 item lead mid lane. Boots and Seeker's Armguard lead. Since obviously Cassiopeia doesn't need boots, then there's that's why she's relatively even on items, but overall Draco, they are in such a bad position, and if Malcolm falls down right now, Baron is alive. First goes in with the Glacial Path into the Ring of Frost, picks up the kill with the auto attack, and now Topaz, they can even go for the Baron.
And that was the second overstep of Muncomb this game so far. Baron will likely just fall unless Draco can manage to get a really strong team fight. However, Topaz are so far ahead, and they are fighting a 5v4 if Draco do decide to go for it.
And the Baron has been secured, and Jizu goes in with the Astral misses it. That's a nice petrifying case to buy some time. Quickness as well, Joker, and will be the sacrificial lamb. But Braveheart goes in the middle of the fight phase, still uses the Frozen Tube on himself to make sure he stays alive. Protocol the way to safety. It is the Baron, it is the 2 kills, and Topaz are holding firm control over this game.
And right now they will just be looking to push out all those lanes. They don't actually have to reset right now. They can just go for those inhibitor turrets and possibly the inhibitors as well. And just... Topaz are playing this so well. You see that they have set up their vision pretty much perfectly. Muncomb had no idea that Jisoo was in that brush, and as such he just donated his life and the life of a Baron, an innocent being, away.
Yeah, and we see that with this Baron, the Civil Wave Clear is not nearly as strong as the Draco would want it to be. The inhibitor turret will fall in just a second. It is picked up right now. The base of Draco has been broken. However, Braveheart is on the back side on this Poppy. Can he make anything happen? He goes in with his steadfast present movement speed. However, he is surrounded by 3 members of Topaz. That is not what you want. He gets knocked up with the Decimating Smash. Joker tries to go with the Grand Entrance, but it might be the Grand Exit from the Summoner's Rift. He gets stand up with the hookshot, and there's nowhere for him to go. Mekov picks up the double kill, not Vanborg. Nice, finds the petrifying gaze, but Selfie picks up the kill. It is 3-4-0, and Topaz might look for the end.
And audacious charge from Poppy, a rather audacious charge into the second game, you could say. They will probably just... They could back away, or they could go for the end in 22 minutes.
This Easy Rod portal just barely reaches the inhibitor turret, and one already has fallen. Second one has fallen, and Topaz in 10 minutes from 0-0 to a 14k gold advantage just after paving their KDAs, getting more kills, will take game 1.
And this game was so well executed from the side of Topaz. Draco did manage to survive the first 10 minutes. However, in the end, it was impossible for them to do anything when Topaz had managed to secure vision all over the map, just thanks to the fact that they had those winning lanes. So coming into the second draft, Draco will have to update their strategy, possibly force Lodberg onto something that has more of a priority in lane, or just overall a better matchup so they can actually contest this vision and turn the series around.
Yeah, you literally just answered the question I ask always after the game. But yeah, you said it, Draco, it felt like they were doing okay. Then the fight happened, and even after the fight, it didn't look like it was over. They were just behind about 1.5 k gold, and the kills were even across the board. But Topaz showed if you give them anything, the smallest thing at all, they will just blow it out of proportions and take the game right now. So I will not ask you what to change for Topaz, and you answered what to change for Draco. But I will ask you, do you think that Draco will be disheartened coming into game 2 since the game went so quickly out of their control?
Well, I don't think that they will be really disheartened. They played the early game relatively well. The problem was with their draft. They drafted way too many losing lanes. They drafted a scaling team composition into a team that loves to teamfight in the mid game. and that is where the source of the problem lays. So rather than being disheartened or sad that they lost the first one, they'll just have to update their policy on the draft, and from that point on, it can still be smooth sailing.
Alright, before we go into the break, I will give you your daily Division 2 update. So right now the Phoenix and T4 are playing. The Phoenix won game 1, in case you are interested in that, but we will go into this short break before we'll see you soon for game 2.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you play for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll ride into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world's calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it costs. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to tell us a dream. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. When the world is calling out your name, begging you to fight. Pick yourself up once more. Pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die.
Hello and welcome back everyone for the second game between Topaz and Draco. Topaz managed to snowball the first game after the bot lane fight, and Draco are looking to take us into game 3. We are in the picks and bans already. Fiora has been removed as well as the Akali ban, so far nothing has really changed.
Yeah, so far the bans are just mimicking the ones that happened in the first one, and it makes sense from Topaz. they don't really have to ban anything extraordinary. They were happy with that Fiora ban and the fact that Braveheart didn't actually get to play any bruisers to actually snowball out of control. So they'll be happy with how the draft went. However, Sivir being taken off the board means that they may actually be looking to play with some more team fighting composition rather than just pure snowball as we saw in the first one.
Yeah, the Sivir ban does indicate that Topaz might be looking for some sort of more late game oriented composition and want to just remove that, get it out of there. Or, you know, we'll see. Anyways, they decided they don't want the Sivir because either Lodberg played it too well, or they just said we don't want to do anything with that pick. It will be the Xayah ban, or at least the hover ban for now.
The hover ban.
Yes, the hover
like
ban,
that.
only in
that.
Pro Draft. So both AD carries have been removed that were played last game.
Yeah, so at least we will see something different in the bot lane. Draco will likely be just looking to get another hyper carry onto Lodbrok, as that is something that he prioritizes, especially in his solo queue, and also from what we've seen so far. And Kala, pretty much the same story. However, Xayah is one of his most played champions, and now Urgot being hovered. It didn't get banned.
It did not, and I believe that it was actually Topaz who banned it game 1, not wanting to give them that one away to Draco. Now that they are on the blue side, they are looking to potentially first pick it. They still have 5 seconds, but they decide to lock it in.
Yeah, and again, I think this is going with their policy of just flexing any sort of champion around any lane just to make our lives more difficult.
Urgot ADC.
Urgot support, I think you meant.
Maybe. I did play it, not that strong.
Okay, you play Twitch support, so you know.
Yes.
Regardless, Urgot mostly picked into mid or top lane. Draco will counter with Delusion, so I'm already liking what they are doing with the draft, focusing on a more kill-heavy bot lane. They could pair it up with something like the Braum. Again, it isn't the strongest engage support, at least right now. However, it's still a very strong combination in tandem with Lucian. We'll have to see how they manage to work out the rest of this.
It is this Shen. So this time Draco are teasing us with the flex picks, although Shen could only really go either to top lane or to support, so not as bad as what Topaz did to us last game. It will be the Maokai though, hover once again. I'm getting ahead of myself with these picks.
It's okay, it's okay, I understand.
Yeah,
You're excited because Selfway does have a known record of playing Maokai support.
Yeah, he even bragged on Twitter that he is the inventor. Not sure about that one. Those are his words. It's only the Maokai though, and I do expect it to go support, especially that Urgot has been locked in. And as you said, and as I said as well, Selfway does like to play that champion. So now, what kind of AD carry do you even pick with the Maokai and into the Lucian? Or do you not even pick the AD carry? Is this Zoe, Hover, or the Camille? Okay, it will be the Camille.
Okay, cool. So you could pair Maokai with something that offers some kill pressure. The Xayah currently being taken off the board, so I don't think that you will be seeing a lot of fighting from Topaz in the bot lane early on. You could just put Kala onto something that is a hyper carry, so something like the Vayne that I believe he has played a lot to great extent.
Alright.
Okay.
That isn't Rammus.
No. Or rather, I should say okay. Rammus, most likely in the jungle, could technically go top. Technically, you know.
Technically. Well, I'm wondering if that is an actual pick because we have seen some mispicks, but for now we'll treat it as such. So it is the Rammus in the jungle, and Topaz still are yet to pick their mid lane in AD carry. So we see Draco already banning out the Orianna. She can't deal with Rammus in the late game, although I'm not sure that is the approach you want to take, since pretty much any AP mid laner can pierce to Rammus.
Yeah, no AD can actually pierce the Rammus. He just says okay, he shrugs it off and just rolls on. That's the power of...
Okay.
Of yes, I was thinking what actual species Rammus is.
Armadillo? I don't know.
Armadillo, yes. An armored armadillo. That's what it is. Regardless.
Yes.
we're still looking at what Topaz decide to round out their composition with. They could go the Draco way and draft for something more oriented towards team fighting. The Aurelian Sol is actually left open for Facehurt, so if he doesn't pick it, it might signal that he isn't as confident, or just that his team is bullying him.
His coach is bullying him, or you know.
Yes, and apparently there was a bug in the draft pick. In the pro draft, sorry. It is a poppy ban, I'm hearing from the players right now. So, that's the final ban.
Is the Rammus still legit?
I think it is, yeah, because there was nothing said about Rammus. They just said, okay, I guess.
That is a karma.
That is a karma. Apparently, another bug, I'm guessing. I can't actually read Danish, fun fact. I'm not Dane, but... Yeah, okay, so apparently it is meant to be a Braum for the Lucian, so it it is the combination that I talked about. It will be the Braum Lucian. Don't let his female visage fool you. It is a very, very muscly man.
Yes, you just do not see it as such. Jin has been locked in for Topaz, though.
And it isn't something that you see too terribly often. However, compared with Maokai, you actually do have a lot of chain CC potential with
a soul. Yay! This is the Aurelian Soul from Facehurt. So, how about we talk about that?
Well, we can talk about that. Facehurt is a former Aurelian Soul one-trick. He currently boasts a, I think it is a 70% win rate. Okay, and I'm also hearing that Rammus is Oriana. Apparently, so that's a bit boring. Okay, so Giovanni will be big. Man, this technology. How does it work?
Pro draft, you get the hover bands, but you also get the bugs. So yeah, just to put it out there, I already see in Twitch chat suits saying Karma equals Braum, Rammus equals Oriana, so I actually don't know what the fourth one is.
It will be the Shen, Lucian, Oriana, Braum, and Sejuani for Draco.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is the Shen in the top lane. Also, what are you looking at in this composition? Because I'm lost.
Well, you do still have a lot of teamfighting potential from Draco, however you do have a lot more priority in the bot lane. In this case, you do have that Lucian who will be looking to relatively just survive early on, however you do have the possibility of having this woman on a boar ride over to the bot lane and just toss some bola that for some reason turns you into an iceberg and you don't die of hypothermia just because this is League of Legends. But you will also get the push from the combined efforts of Braum and Lucian, so you will actually have the priority over vision in the river. So I'm really liking what Draco have done with this draft so far.
Alright then, how about Topaz? What did they do in their draft?
They got Aurelian Soul.
Great, so why Aurelian Soul? I mean, you told me that Facehurt is a one-trick, but how does it fit into the composition?
Well, Aurelian Soul fits great into pretty much any composition that you give him, especially when he isn't against something that likes to get into his face, which Oriana definitely isn't. He will actually have a much easier time against her in lane, and as soon as he hits that level 6, he can just look to roam, and most likely together, again, with the Camille, to set up a lot of CC in the bot lane. If you look at the composition, you have Maokai CC combined with Hextech Ultimatum, combined with Deathly Flourish, and the star that this Magical Dragon will bring over, so suddenly Draco will have to worry about a 4-man dive as soon as minute 10.
Alright then, talking about general team win objectives, I literally forgot the word. How do these teams try to win the game in general?
Well, Draco will still want to they will want to snowball this Lucian to actually give him priority over Jhin. Jhin doesn't actually spike nearly as hard in the mid game as Lucian, so Draco will be looking to fight around that. However, if the game does manage to stall out into the later stages, you will have Jhin just sort of running around, and the only champions that he won't be able to kill will be the Sejuani and Shen, which the Urgot will just sort of zone out. So late game teamfights will be won by Topaz, and Draco needs to get that early pressure and utilize it to ride off of a wave of enthusiasm and crash into the Topaz's Nexus as soon as they can.
Alright, well that will be it from us for now. We will go into the short break as we will wait for the spectator delay. We'll see you in about 5 minutes, so stay tuned and see if Topaz can get the 2-0 or if Draco will take us to game 3.
To hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, oh, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A soul ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light. Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A soul ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants?
Right, hello and welcome everyone back. We are in game 2 and we'll have to see if Topaz can take the 2-0 home or if Draco will take us to game 3. And the first thing I can see is there's quite a bit of BM coming in from Topaz.
There is not just quite a bit. There is a lot. They just brought a whole gallon of freshly squeezed BM in the form of picking 4 cleanses for their composition. You know, I don't know if this is some next level strategy. You know, maybe. Urgo does have technically the unsealed spellbook, so hopefully you will see him swapping out. But again, if they manage to win this with cleanses, I think that will shatter the morale of Draco than anything else.
Yeah, and I think it will be just cruel for me to now ask you to think how these cleanses will come into the play. So I won't, unless do you think there is any idea behind it? Do you have anything on that, or?
Well, I think it's still more of an aesthetic choice rather than a practical one. On the bot side, it will technically negate some of the CC that Lucian and Braum together with Sejuani will bring. However, maybe they just like the color blue.
Oh, Braveheart. He goes into the bush, gets spotted by Mayhoff, and Jizu will be forced away with the Blast Cone. So Draco, they should know that their red buff is being taken away, but can they act accordingly?
Yeah, hopefully they do realize that, and hopefully they do. Hopefully Munkholm does decide to path accordingly.
Alright, Braveheart tried to get that one away, but Mayhoff just smites it and gets the easy secure now. He's making his way towards the middle lane. There are no pings coming in right now. Vanberg is level 1. Hookshot does connect with the flash. Flash away from Vanberg. Barrier used as well. So both summoners have been forced on this gank.
Yeah, and already that is going to be super beneficial for the side of Facert, meaning that Vanberg can't actually rush over to him and get a good shockwave, given that he doesn't have any escape. So he won't probably just be looking to get any kill just yet, although we haven't seen him play this one trick, so you know.
Selfway goes in with a twisted advance onto Joker, and that's a really nice trade coming in from Topaz. However, Lodberg does manage to trade quite a bit of HP back onto Selfway. One thing that the cleanses do help with is the combat summoners in this bot lane. Since you have the heal, have the ignite, and on the other side there are just 2 cleanses. And if you ask me which 2 I would prefer to fight, I think the answer is obvious.
Okay, yeah. I mean, maybe, you know, just maybe they weren't actually trolling. That's some food for thought, you know, maybe they are actually taking this Wintersplit seriously. However, again, it's good to see that, you know, Topaz are one of the best teams that we have in this league right now. Just from how they position and how they can utilize this early game pressure that they do have with the Jhin and Maokai to set up those kills around the bot lane. Top lane will probably just remember. It will remember the good old days of Season 3. However,
yes,
it will also stay. Okay, I don't know what's happening today. Apologies to everyone. It will just stay that very island that it was in the first game as well. With Braveheart likely just teleporting to the bot lane to help out with any potential roam from Facert. And for now, all is peaceful. Well, relatively peaceful on the Summoner's Rift.
You say relatively peaceful, but there is some fighting going on in the top side jungle. Tactical Sweep finds the slow onto 2 members. Langholm does manage to get away with the Arctic Soul, but Vanberg has no summoners. Jizu is coming up from the top lane, and it should be the kill. First blood secured by Mayhoff.
And getting that early kill onto Camille, again, it is a similar champion to the one of Xin Zhao. Getting her to snowball, getting her those early items will be really beneficial to her. And also making sure that Facert can just push out his lane as early as he can to take away any advantages from the hands of Vanberg will again be playing to their advantage.
So we have obviously paid a lot of attention to the cleanses, and I would just like to make an amendment, since we have been pointed to by the Topaz coach how this exactly works. I'm sorry, forgive us, we really haven't seen anything like this. So the argument goes like this: Facehard and Kyle would take cleanse in these matchups anyways, which I think is a fair point against a Sejuani, especially that you're very mobile. And when you look at Jizu and Selfie, they both have this spellbook, so I think cleanses, even though I still believe it's a bit of BM, definitely not a troll if you look at it this way.
Yeah, it does make sense. We said that you do have the immense CC chain, especially in the bot lane, and neither of these solo laners are too terribly given in the mobile department. So it does make sense for them to pick up that cleanse. Again, it's either massive BM or a lot of respect shown just to this pick of Sejuani.
Or a 200 IQ strat that will get them the win.
True.
Never underestimate Vesberg.
Never. You shall never underestimate Vesper. If you do, well, you will probably suffer.
Alright, well, 6 minutes in the game, there is a kill sitting on Mayhoff, and similarly as to last game, we see CSDs already developing. It is nearly 20 in the top lane, around 10 in the mid lane, and a CSD starting to build up in the bot lane. So once again, Topaz are in the front foot right from the start.
Yeah, and I was expecting for Lucian to... Okay, yeah, I see why you were doing it now. I thought that Lucian was going to have more of a priority in lane against Jhin, however right now it is the Kala that will be building up a bit of a lead. Could dissipate a bit with this wave, however it's still showing that Topaz are the domineering team right now, however Munkholm...
Munkholm is going into a flash forward with the Wintersplit, flash away from Selfway, stand into the cleanse. Selfway still has the flash to advance, and Lothar picks up the kill.
Well, those cleanses didn't certainly help there, although we could see how they could have. And this is why, well, we see now why they are paying that much respect over to the pick of Sejuani. She didn't even have her Glacial Prison up yet, because she hasn't hit the level 6. And yet, she has already managed to secure a kill onto Lodberg.
Now Cal running low, Braveheart in the top lane getting dove. Fear Beyond Death grinds him down, Jizu picking up the kill.
And an early kill on Urgot. Again, something that you probably don't want to see. And I'm not sure if the viewers can see it, but the chat right now...
He's looking for a return gank. Joker tries to zone anyone away. Kale still has both of the summoners, so not as free of a lane as you might think. And Mayhoff, he's still in the top lane, and Facehard is coming up on this.
Okay, that's just rude.
Yeah, I feel like Braveheart might be in for some bot times. Hextech Ultimatum is available as well as the Voice of Light. Braveheart goes in for the taunt onto Jizu, but it just is not enough. Mayhoff picks up an easy kill on the gank in the top lane.
Yeah, and this could also be the tier 1 turret. Draco should now reply with taking the Infernal Drake. However, Topaz still does have the bot lane around, so they will be able to just deny anything. And
Lodberg getting chunked quite significantly by Kala's Jhin.
And right now you see a 3,000 gold lead on the side of Topaz, so their game is still going their way, and partly because of their ability to just force these advantages onto their opponents and just to accumulate that CS lead.
And Mayhoff has been so active this game right now. 2-0-1 on Camille, has pretty much put top lane in a dumpster right now and secured the first start at 8 minutes. 8.5.
With 4 cleanses.
Yes.
So, okay, Facehard now in the bot lane, just scaring this beautiful, beautiful man, whose heart is the strongest muscle, away from the lane. Will probably be the tier 1 turret in the bot lane as well. And even though we were talking about how Draco should have the favorable early game, the narrative has just completely turned on its head with how Topaz are playing right now.
And they managed to secure a second turret. Last game we've seen Topaz play it even, get the fight and then snowball out of control. This time they don't need a fight. They're just doing it seemingly out of nowhere. Mayhoff on the Camille being so active, setting up things left, right and center. Also having Facehard on the Valiant Soul create priority in the mid lane, as well as Jizu in the top side, pretty much means that they are as commanding as they were at 15 minutes last game, but at 10 minutes.
Yeah, unfortunately. Can we get a 20-minute game though? I think that's the call that we are all looking at from Jisoo right now.
They did get a 22-minute game last time, so
They
I think
did.
it's forgivable. Right now we might be in for a fight. Glacial Fissure does land onto 3 members, but it's a disengaged one as Joker tries to run away. Unbreakable has been popped to try and buy some time. Hextech ultimate will lock him down though. He gets wooded up and taken down, Jisoo taking the kill credit.
And that should also be the Inferno trick. I just want to point out Facehurt was forced to use his cleanse. So, again, the cleanse coming in handy against the Sejuani. And right now, they will be looking to snowball their advantage. They are just grouping in the mid lane, most likely will be roaming around to the Herald. Braveheart is trying to set up at least some pressure in the top lane, however could be in for some trouble.
Herald has been started for the side of Topaz right now, and Draco, they are trying to get into position to contest. However, Lodberg is in the bot lane, Jisoo also is in the bot lane, but he has the ability to switch to teleport, I believe, although I'm still unsure how the spellbook works exactly. Now Malcolm is in there, 3 members of Topaz. Do Draco decide to go for it? Looks like they will be content to just disengage and give over the Herald.
And this will just speed up the game that much more. You saw that Braveheart was actually at odds with almost getting caught out by Facehurt. In the end, he didn't get spotted and could just run away to the safety of his fountain. However, this Herald will likely be popped in the mid... Okay, yeah, it is being popped in the mid lane.
Kerr with 200 IQ predictions.
Superior analyst, by the way.
So yes, the Herald has been summoned in the mid lane. 5,000 gold lead will be extended ever so slightly with that take. But right now all outer turrets have been already taken and Topaz will just look, if not taking this turret, to just reset and extend their control into the jungle of Draco significantly.
Yeah, and right now they can't just reset. These players haven't actually gone back yet, so there will be a lot of gold sitting, especially on Kala. He could finish that Stormrazor, if I'm not mistaken right now, and... You do have those 2 kills sitting on Jisoo and Mayhoff, who will be really happy with them. As soon as Mayhoff can finish that Triforce, the happier he will be, and the more damage he will deal to possibly force another lane for a split push, even though right now you have Facehurt doing that as well.
Right, so right now Draco are in a very dire position. Lost game 1, 5,000 gold behind already at 13 minutes. So how do they try and come back in this game?
Well, right now they still need to force an opportunity. Rather than last game, they needed to stall out to get some gold onto their Sivir to actually be able to do something. They need to get those kills on Lodberg. They need to get him some early item. They need that Blade of the Ruined King. As Van Borg... I'm sorry, did it lag for you? Okay, I'm guessing that for the fact that Kachka isn't responding, something bad happened. Hopefully, well, not hopefully. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'm
You're
back.
alive.
I'm back. Yes.
Hi.
Hello. So.
Nothing happened. No worries. Just
Yes.
Van Borg got engaged upon.
I was seeing all that. It's just but I'm ashamed to admit why. But we're back. Topaz got the turret. I was talking that actually what Facer did was pretty much an Aurelion Soul insect.
Yes, pretty much.
That's impressive. Not gonna lie.
That was a nice flash hold right there. It's not something that you see too terribly often. Guess he really was the voice of light at the end of the tunnel.
No.
I'm sorry.
Why? Anyways, back in the game. So, 4th turret has fallen down, 4-1, 24,000 gold head. Selva is trying to come for anyone now, will clear out this ward since he has been spotted. And Topaz looks like they want to go for that bot lane turret.
And it makes sense. It is one of the only tier 2 left. The other one now remaining also in the top, where Facer is already comfortably sitting, just pushing out, having a nice little feast. And yes?
I just want to look at Jisoo. Not only has he got the cleanse, he now picked up the QSS.
Okay.
Try to catch that one out. Malcolm goes in. No QSS, no cleanse as well, but the Glacier Fissure is the follow-up. Jisoo falling dangerously low. The calling has been used, flash away. Self is running low, so this might be the fight that Draco won. However, one kill has been already traded. It's the second one as Vanberg picks up the kill. Credit Kalle is going to run away, but that's so much damage onto Landberg. Kalle can keep finding the kill. Heal has been used. Flash forward, dodges from the Orianna ultimate, picks up the kill, but will be traded back, and Draco pick up the 4-4-2.
And they needed an opportunity, and this is exactly what they got. Phaser will be looking to take down that tier 2 in the top lane. However, Draco will be happy with shrinking that CS lead of Topaz, at least just a tiny bit, and to get some actual damage down onto their carries. You still saw that Vanberg does have a lot of damage. He does have that Luden's Echo finished, and the side of Topaz has no magic resist just yet, so he is able to wreak havoc in the lines of Topaz, and a good fight from Draco.
And yeah, that was a very good fight from Draco, but looking at it objectively, they are still 5,000 gold behind. They have not lost any objectives, have not gained any, but it does allow them to get more items, to get to the point where they can actually force stuff. You said Luden's Echo already completed. Lucian will be looking for the Blade of the Ruined King, and it is looking relatively well better than it did, to say the least. And
yes,
currently we're 16 minutes in the game, so Baron isn't even on the cards for next 4 minutes. This is a good sign for Draco if they can force more of these fights.
Yeah, and we saw that Phaser was in the top lane. He does have the cleanse, so he was actually unable to join that fight, which is in a pretty unfair battle for Topaz. And again, I don't really think that 4 cleanses is the best method of achieving victory. However, I understand it. I respect it. But Topaz will still be sitting pretty happily on their gold lead, just trying to push it further and further. But as you said, without the Baron buff, it'll be a bit more difficult.
Jesus trying to split push in the top lane. 5 members of Draco are in the bot side. That is a tense standoff. Braveheart now will go into the top lane, has Stand United, has the teleport, as well as the Ocean Drake will be started by Topaz.
And it looks like Draco isn't even aware of it, or rather they're just deciding to give it away. It'll be the Ocean Man donated over. And also possibly the tier 2 in the top lane.
Yeah, Brave. Yes, so Braveheart on this Shen, he's gonna have a very hard time if he isn't having one already, since Ergot, he's that lane bully. In the early game, Mayhoff tried to snowball it even more, and now Black Cleaver compared to a Tiamat and Bambi Cinder really is not enough, so Braveheart will have to just try and wave clear these waves one by one and hope that the rest of his team can maybe find an opportunity. But the target in the top lane has been taken already by Jizu.
And right now, you have the problem of Jizu not having the teleport. However, okay, I was already getting excited at Jokerin getting caught out.
Yeah,
But
as a Brom, you have access to this Stein behind me. You can just do this, jump away, you'll be fine. Unless you find yourself getting chain CC, then it's really not that bad.
Indeed. And alrighty, I like the fact that we saw Jesus, as you said, in the top lane rather than Phaser, because Phaser doesn't actually have access to that TP. I thought that there was a fight going to happen again. Every time I see someone
aggressive wave clearing is this thing. That's actually a really good use of Nature's Grasp. At least it will force away the members of Draco, as Topaz are now looking to take the tired bot. They will take a lot of damage. Now the bola lands onto Mayhoff. He has no cleanse. Now Glacial Flare in the middle of the fight. That's chaos all over. Jesus running very, very low. Will not get taken down just yet. Joker picks up the kill with last tick of Ignite. Minar Fester is in the wrong side of the fight. Mayhoff tries to go in with the quick shot, gets the ultimate onto Lodberg, but 3 members of his team protect him, and Mayhoff falls down 2-4-0 for Draco.
And a bit of a strange positioning from Topaz there. I'm not sure why they didn't really fight all together. It was a good engage, and they did get a lot of damage down onto that bot tier 2 turret. However, again, Draco managed to turn it around just because they played together. They do actually have the stronger team fighting team overall, especially now in the mid game. But if Topaz keep on playing like this, it may actually stall out just long enough that Draco can get back into it.
You said that you liked in the champ select, you like Kale more than Lodberg in the late game, and obviously
Well,
that's the case.
well, not them. I like Jin more than Lucian, okay?
Yes. All right. Well, I will not put Jin, but like you like Jin more than Lucian in the late
Good,
game.
okay.
Taking an overall look at the comps, who do you give the edge to in the late game?
Well, in the late game, it will be very much the game of can Kala carry the team fight? Can he blow up Lodberg or Vanborg? If he cannot, well, the team of Draco will take the win and the day. Or if he doesn't, it will be the game over from the side of Draco. So it'll all come down to execution and can Kala execute the right people.
That will be what we are looking at in the next fight. The Baron has respawned right now, and Topaz still in control, use this to set up vision control. Malcolm trying to clear out some wards. Mayhoff is just sneaking behind the wall, goes in with the hookshot onto Malcolm. That's actually a lot of damage used, but Jokeran is there as well, flash away to safety. So right now Mayhoff on Camille, no means of escaping any CC.
Yeah, and a bit too greedy from him, I would say. They still do want to snowball, they still want to push their advantages as much as they can, however they will have to sort of respect Draco from this point on. They have to realize the fact that they still have the stronger teamfighting composition, and a pure 5v5, especially if you are scattered all over the place, Draco can still take it, especially when you get caught out as a jungler.
Now Facehead, alright, that is a pause. Top lane disconnect. I believe that the Braveheart might have some issues, at least reading from the chat right now. So, we'll get a pause to talk about the game state. So right now 6,000 gold lead for Topaz, however a slight kill lead for the side of Draco. If you look at the carries, Topaz are still very much ahead. You've got 2 items compared to 1 on the Orianna and 2 items compared to 1 and a Phage on the Lodberg. Although I should say that Orianna has a lot of components for what might be the Liandry's Torment. So carries wise, Topaz are still on top, but we have seen them falter if the setup is not quite clean.
Yeah, and even though they have cleanse, they haven't been really clean, as you just said. Especially in those team fights.
Oh, Faceheart might now get caught out. Flash away to safety preemptively. Like Braveheart in the bot lane. He's in a 1v3 situation after the turret. So Topaz should be able to secure this if Draco cannot rotate down there in time.
Yeah, they are just running over right now. Hopefully, they will give this little ninja some sort of help.
Braveheart tries to wave through this wave to make sure that Kale cannot free hit this turret. What this means is that Mayhoff is now free to clear out any vision in the top side that Draco worked to set up. Crucial point though, a void staff has been completed on the Vanberg's Orianna.
Yeah, so he will be dealing a lot of damage. You still have no magic resist on the side of Topaz except for Merc Treads, and Mayhoff is in a... Okay.
Oh, Mayhoff, he goes in with the Hextech ultimatum, but he just gets bursted down. That was close. Vanberg uses the barrier to try and keep himself safe, but now Topaz have no jungler. I don't think Draco can really punish them in terms of the Baron buff, but it will give them some breathing room to set up the vision.
Yeah, they will get a very huge breather right now, and Topaz haven't seemed as clean as in game 1. It isn't the same, we control the map, we control whatever is going on right now, and Draco are actually finding some opportunities. The problem is, they still have a 6k gold lead deficit.
Yeah, now Jizuki does get tagged by the Winter's Bite, flash away to get himself to safety, and Infernal Drake has been started. Mayhoff has just respawned, he is on his way there. Draco, they looks like they will secure the dragon right now. Nature's Grasp has been used to try and zone them away, but they will just laugh at it as it does get the double root, but it does not do anything. Draco, they're happy with the Infernal and they will just disengage.
Yeah, and on Infernal Draco over to the pockets of Draco. It will still benefit them. However, Topaz are now positioning around this Baron. This could be a quick steal.
Yeah, Topaz, they've used the fact that Draco has actually reset, and this Baron is going really slow. I believe that was the smite from one of the spellbook users, but however, right now Malcolm is behind the pit. The Baron is on 3000 HP. Who will get it? It looks like it might be a 50-50 on our hands. Teleport has been used from Jizu, as well as the glacial prison, I should say. Malcolm goes into the pit, but the Baron is falling into 2000 HP. The fight ensues, and it is the shutdown onto Van Beert. Cal cannot get the Baron, and Topaz, they get the fight. It looks like the Baron will also be theirs. They just wipe the floor with Draco members. It is the 5-4-1. They get the Baron and they get the win.
And that was such a great...
Fight win.
Yeah, I agree. That was such a great turnaround from Topaz. They managed to get the Baron to be alive at just the tiniest sliver of health, and now the top lane is pushed up under the inhibitor of Draco, and they will just look to secure it and possibly get an inhibitor or two off of this.
However, the death timers are still very short, and yes, it was a very impressive turnaround from Topaz. It won't be quite enough to break the base, but now they are finding themselves with a 11.5k gold advantage. Triforce completed on Mayhoff. Not sure if he did it now or quite a while back. Rod of Age is nearly stacked onto Facer. He's looking towards his third item, as well as 3 items on Cal, and he's sitting on 2700 gold as well. So when he will go back, he will be able to afford quite a few items.
A bit. Yeah, he will be a happy feller. Okay, the blue buff did get reset.
Yeah, Cal will not be able to secure that one. He will just get some consolidation gold from this control word, and Topaz, they are looking strong right now. Yes, it's not as clean of a snowball as it was last game, but they managed to get the Baron in the end. They managed to get a massive gold lead, and now they will be looking to break open the game. Or the base, I should say.
The base and the game, probably, as well. You know, you're always right, Kachka.
Yes, no.
Not really.
I'm always right because I'm never definitive.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
So, we see Mayhoff actually split pushing on the Camille in the top lane. Malcolm and Lodberg are dedicated to try and stop him, but the turret is already half HP. Bot lane will be just the Braveheart versus Jisoo 1v1. Pretty much Jisoo just wave clearing, then Braveheart wave clearing, and Jisoo getting damage on the turret with the Z-Rod portal. We're going to have to see, can Draco actually hold out against this push, because they are very, very far behind. And even though they have managed to win quite a few fights, we saw the last fight how hard they lost. Now in the bot lane there is some trading. Jisoo does land the Fear Beyond Death. Will he be able to reactivate in time? Yes, he will. Braveheart forces down Jisoo on the killing spree. Now the bot lane, someone needs to go there or the base will be open, and it has been already. Inhibitor is under attack, but Jisoo will respect the potential collapse coming in from Draco.
And right now you see the powerful 1-3-1 composition of Topaz.
Oh,
now Mayhoff in the top side.
Lodberg just getting the kill. I mean, Lodberg just getting killed by Mayhoff. So quick with the Hextech ultimate, you blink and you miss it, and all 3 inhibitors are due to be destroyed right now as Topaz. They are looking for the finish right now. 10 seconds on Braveheart, 20 seconds on Lodberg. If Van Berg falls down, this will surely be it. Glacial Fear to try and buy some time, wave clear. Just do anything it can, but it does not look like anything will matter at all. Cal will get jumped on, but he does use the class to get himself to safety and will not even be stunned with the concussive blows. Shockwave only onto Facer, and the Nexus has been exposed. And Topaz, they are just playing with their food. Cal is on the rampage. Topaz, they're getting the kill. It is the double kill, and they will get the 2-0 win in the series over Draco.
Yeah, and although this wasn't as clean of a game as we saw in the first one, it was still a very impressive showing from the Topaz. They did look, you know, a bit shaky at times. However, in the end, they did manage to get a very good fight around the Baron pit and just snowballed it into that 1-3-1 that they needed, and just cracked open the base, cracked open the shell, and cracked open a cold one after this one, as they'll be heading into the solo queue that we heard in the pre-show.
Yes, crack open a cold one with solo queue boys, and it is a dessert.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
It is a dessert one, since they have been playing really, really well in this series. It is a 2-0 win. And we are having pretty much the same phenomenon as we had on Tuesday with Hero versus Lynx, where game 1 has been so dominant that you even tend to overlook how clean the game 2 was. And it's a similar story. You said it, they pretty much just managed to get the snowball, then they get the 1-3-1, get the Baron, get the win in the team fight, and 3 minutes later it's over.
Yeah, however, Draco definitely weren't without a chance. They still made sure to show that they can go toe-to-toe with a team like Topaz. However, Topaz still outclassed them in the snowballing department and in the vision control. There were some missteps from them, however, again, they played really well, really cleanly, and they deserve the win today.
Yeah, so I just want to get any confirmation if I am the one doing the post game or is Color coming to us. But assuming she isn't here yet, I think that that it is up to us to talk about the game more in perspective. Obviously, we just talked about the game. It is the 2-0 for Topaz, and with this 2-0 win, they will sit on 3 points. That is first place tied with Hydra.
Indeed, and Hydra are still one of the hidden titans, if I can call them that. They were very strong in their showings, and I think that Topaz against Hydra will be one of the most hyped matchups this entire split. So I still think that Topaz did perform phenomenally today, and I'm just excited to see what the rest of the split has in store for us.
Yes, so talking about the rest of the split, the next matches will be on Sunday. I'm doing the colors job today, by the way.
Okay,
so
cool.
At 16 we will have Kaylee versus Old Boys, and then followed by that it will be Lyra versus Hydra. So do you have any thoughts about any of these two matches?
Well, not quite yet. I still need to reaffirm myself in my views. However, we will have the Lyra against Hydra, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
The Kaylee against Old Boys. Kaylee against Old Boys will be a matchup that I'm looking forward to, because Old Boys were the ones coming second, I believe, from the division deciders in the end, and Kaylee did look a bit shaky in their match against Draco. So I think there is a possibility for each of these teams to take it. And with Lyra against Hydra, Lyra will be the underdogs going into it. However, who doesn't like a good underdog story, you know? Anything is possible if you just set your mind to it.
Yeah, and talking points-wise, this matchup, Old Boys have 1 point, KD have 2 points, so they really want to get these points. That is safe to say, I assume. And on the other side, we've got Hydra versus Lyra. Hydra are sitting right now tied with Topaz. Of course, Topaz missed their week 2 match, so this is why Hydra are still to play in week 3 and are tied with Topaz, even though both are undefeated. So Hydra definitely will be looking for that 2-0 win. However, coming back into the game, so because I am the person who gets to ask the question, you are the person to answer first.
Okay.
The MVPs for the game.
The MVPs for the game. Well, I have already done some thinking as we wrapped up a game 2 about it. So I will start, with the winners, the Topaz. I would love to honor Mayhoff. He has played incredibly well throughout the series. He has been the main driving force around so many of these plays. He has invaded, which isn't actually something that you see too very often in this, but however, he has counter jungled, which I was very glad to see. And yeah, a solid performance from him. And on the other side, on the side of Draco, again, I want to say that all of these players played really well. However, if I were to give the award to anyone, well, from the first game, there was no real big carry. However, in the second one, who shined was Lodberg on that Lucian. He was pretty much the only carry, together with Vanborg, and he positioned himself really well around the team fight. So, hey, enjoy it.
Alright, well, I will also share my view, since just asking the question doesn't mean that I don't answer it. And I'm gonna also start with Topaz, and I'm gonna agree with you. I will go with Mayhoff, since the second game he has been pretty much the the driving factor behind the early game snowball. Yes, everyone played really well. Kale finished the game with 5-1 and 3, and has been the major, has done a lot in the team fights. But I feel like Mehov was the person to start it all, at least from my perspective, and therefore I will go with him. On the other side, for Draco, yes, I'm lost in all these names. I will go with Vanberg for 2 reasons. First of all, in game 1, in that fight, he was the person that picked up 2 kills, I believe, and even though in the end he didn't really snowball into anything, he was the person that really tried to keep this team alive. Obviously, it snowballed out of their control really quickly, really hard. But then in the second game, he has played very well on this Orianna. He actually won a few fights with his damage. Maybe the shockwaves weren't the flashiest ones. He didn't miss them. But his consistent damage did make up for it, and yeah, I'm going with Vanberg. So I feel like handing off to Collar, but she's not here. So
She's not here, indeed.
Yes. So what's next? Is this it, or?
Well, I do believe that this is it. We have mentioned MVPs, we have mentioned our thoughts, we have mentioned some very bad puns today, which
Yes.
I am incredibly proud of. So, which one of us is going to be the one doing the outro?
Okay, so I will do the sellout, and basically, follow us on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and join our Discord server. We also have a battle fight in which we will organize tournaments after the winter split. So don't forget to follow us in all these places. We are streaming every time we are streaming on Twitch,
Every
YouTube,
day,
and Facebook. Yes, every game. Next match is Sunday the 11th, 16th Central European time. So don't forget to see us there and join the Discord server to see what will happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of banter there.
Yes,
when people aren't talking in Danish.
Oh,
So
I forgot.
okay.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I have been informed that in the Division 2, the Phoenix got a 2-0 win over the T2, I believe. So yeah. No,
Okay.
who's playing today? Oh, T4.
T4. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So there it is. Division 2 scores. Don't forget to follow us. I'm not gonna do it again, and I believe we'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone.
Wow.